Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Jacob Wile, too.
And Monkey another time.
And holy crap! Maracas, for some random reason, are you foreshadowing the three Caballeros?
No, it's my egg shaker from the Great Comet, which kind of works.
Oh,
this
right,
is an
right,
egg.
right. The Great Comet, sure.
Yeah. And hey, it's an egg, so that kind of fits in with this one.
Oh, God.
All right, guys. So I'm just going to come out and say it. This is probably, like, if not the best episode of this show, at the very least, like, the most monumental episode of this show. I would say this is the episode that kind of elevated this show to Gravity Falls status for me. Because I felt just as strongly watching this episode as I did watching any episode of Gravity Falls. Like, this to me was kind of the whole Grunkle Stan, I trust you of it all. Like, I'm talking that level of feels with it. I'm talking like I'm about ready to just sing the praises of this episode to Kingdom Come, because my God.
Yeah, I was not expecting that this week.
The last crash of the Sunchaser.
I mean, just the last moment with Scrooge, the whole, like,
oh, yeah.
I hope you're happy.
Yeah, that final montage. God, that final montage.
Oh, yeah, that just, like, we were expecting it to be like, you know, remember Tiki, how we were, like, talking about it when it didn't have a synopsis? It was just like so just like a Launchpad-centric episode. Nope.
No.
It turned out to be like the heaviest episode of the entire season.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it would be my top episode, just because, you know, I'm, as someone who's a bit more inclined to the more lighthearted stuff. But yeah, like you said, this is certainly a monumental one.
I mean, like, yeah, at the very least, it's the most plot heavy that we've ever gotten, and
like some of the most emotional we've gotten.
Sure.
Oh, heck yeah.
And we still definitely got some nice comedy in there, too.
Yeah, especially from Launchpad, of course.
Anyway, the Darkwing Duck video is still running! Do you want me to pause it?
This is your captain speaking. We are falling!
Oh, man. I don't even know where to start.
Maltese MacGuffin.
Yeah,
what a great name.
MacGuffin. That was great.
I mean, great name. We never even find out what it is.
Yeah,
naturally. I think if we did find out what it is, it kind of would have defeated the purpose.
Hence it being in
I picture the cricket from that one episode.
And Tiki, I do know there's something you're happy about.
Yes.
Donald.
A little bit more Donald, but at the same time, he sat out again.
Yeah, he sat out again.
Well,
I mean,
it's more than we've gotten.
We got 2 scenes instead of 1, so sure, I'm still...
Like, why does... Like, no, I'm fixing the houseboat for some reason.
I mean, I'm still kind of, like, on the bandwagon of, like, does this show just hate Donald for some reason?
Yeah, although... I will say it with this one. It does kind of work for when the nephews like see him again at the end, like, and he finds out what they know.
You're not wrong. I think for this particular episode, it works. The amount of screen time he gets is good. I'm just saying,
for the series as a whole, yeah.
The one thing that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth is the fact that we've literally had the whole, like, hey, we're going to go on the adventure and Donald's going to stay behind. Like, that's kind of been the status quo the whole time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bore you guys with the whole, like, obligatory Donald should have had more screen time talk, because I do that every episode. We're here to be positive. You want to know what
if this was like Disney's, like, okay, we've gotten all your complaints that Donald gets all the screen time in PhilharMagic, even though it's named after Mickey. Here, we're even now.
Oh, God. Oh, good one. Okay, there were actually 2 small but key things in this episode that kind of cemented it as my favorite. One is the fact that one of my predictions kind of came true. which was the fact that somehow, some way, the moon, or at the very least outer space, was going to be pivotal to DuckTales.
Right.
And that makes me so happy. I really hope we get a moon theme at some point in the show, kind of like a remixed moon theme.
All you have to do is jump over the moon.
Really quick in the comments, we have Rabicu Pegasus. I hope I'm pronouncing Rabicu right. Donald's the gag character of the show, more so than Launchpad. Launchpad at least tends to serve a narrative purpose more than Donald. I honestly, I respect your opinion on that. I like, given the fact that Donald is so closely tied to Scrooge and the Della Duck mystery, I don't necessarily agree that he's less plot important. And at the very least, like I said, I understand that he's a comedic character. I just if he's a comedic character, like trust me, Donald Duck is my favorite. Robicu. So it's like Rob and Pikachu. All right, Robicu. All right, I hope I'm doing that.
Pikachu with my face.
Right. But I don't know. Like I said, Robicu, I definitely respect your opinion. It's just it's, and others feel differently. Jacob, I think, doesn't have as much of an issue with it. But like I said, I don't want to talk blue in the face about it, because overall, I think this episode was really good, and Donald had the perfect amount of screen time. That's how he's treated anyways. Yeah, he is treated like a joke. You're right. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah, with the moon level, like I said, that was just one of those things where I was like, yes, like even if it's not directly an homage to the video game, it's still kind of like I'm gonna take it as a victory anyways. And then also, very small detail, but the detail that I was like, yes, take my money, best episode of the series, Duckworth's ghost.
Yeah. I mean, you complain about the lack of Donald. I wish we'd seen a little more of Duckworth. I mean, like, not too much, but, a little bit here and there.
I have a feeling in season 2, Duckworth's ghost is going to at least be a reoccurring character.
I guess it could be argued that it may make the gag a bit funnier since this is the first time we've actually seen him since his first appearance. But I don't know.
You know what, Monkey? I think for me, that's it. Yeah, it's the fact that I wasn't expecting to see Duckworth at all this episode, and then suddenly, there he is, and he's walking out in a huff, and he's got his little ghost suitcase packed.
Yeah, I mean, that was a great surprise. Listen, all we've had of him since before was just Louis mentioning that they have a ghost butler.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh man.
But still.
And that ending, dude, it's like, my God, that it's such a complex place to end Scrooge going into the final episode.
It's a downright brutal ending.
Yeah, I hope you're happy. I am, he says with tears in his eyes. I mean, God, that is like straight up like operatic. Ugh, I love it.
Speaking of eyes, I feel like that's something that stands out to me. Like, say in the scene you have in your image there, was like, tell me about the Spear of Selene. Like, all right, and then like the eyes on Dewey and Scrooge are animated so well there.
Yeah, of course. Throughout the episode, I think, and one of the moments that you pointed out, Monkey, when Donald, when Huey, Dewey, and Louie reunite with Donald, and they're just like, we know about the Spear of Selene, and Donald's eyes just kind of like, it's not even shocked, it's just kind of like sad, like, oh, I know exactly what that means. All right. Like, we have to deal with this now. Really good stuff. I would say overall, this is probably the best animated episode of the series.
Could be.
Yeah, definitely.
Rabicu Pegasus, that ending has been on my mind all day, to be honest. I mean, I just finished watching the episode about a half hour ago, but it will be on my mind all day. I'll guarantee you that. It was that's the moment that to me really cemented it as kind of like a Gravity Falls style, like, damn. Like that is like, I haven't felt emotion like that for a cartoon since Gravity Falls.
I have to rewatch the episode just to get all this right.
Yeah.
I mean, I rarely rewatch an episode for reviewing of this for this podcast. This
it's
one,
embarrassing. Go on.
this one actually made me want to rewatch it.
Yeah, I did rewatch it for anyone wondering. Let's see. I find it kind of embarrassing with this one, like an interesting approach. How it's one of those sort of mainly takes place in one location stories, like in one room.
Like a bottle episode.
Yeah, or say a kind of maybe like a sort of 12 Angry Men type thing. But yeah.
12 Angry Ducks.
I was literally just thinking that. I mean, I know he's not. No, I'll save it.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm gonna have fun casting that show with these characters.
Oh yeah, that would be great. Tiki, you there?
Crap, he's stolen the spear of Selene and gone into space.
It's still fun to kind of.
Okay, look, I mean, they haven't closed the ride for the Ghost Galaxy overlay yet, so he still has a chance.
Great. And he's gone.
Damn it, Ghost Galaxy Ghost.
The ghost got him.
It'll be temporary, I'm sure. I mean, he survived that ride once. He can survive this improvised bit.
Yep.
I love that bit where they're chasing each other slowly, and then like Dewey puts the crate in front, like, leave me alone. Hello, Tiki, you back? I think I hear him. I think I did.
Can you hear me? Really?
Yeah, like it's not like it's sort of faint, but I can hear you.
I don't know what's going on. Okay, what about now?
A little better.
Just keep going, guys.
Okay.
Again. And the sad part, especially about the ending, is that they never really even gave Scrooge a chance to explain his situation either. You know what I mean? It's like he tried to explain what happened, and they didn't even listen.
Yeah, and it seems like Beakley was like, I get a feeling Beakley knows about like how much Scrooge tried to save Della.
Yep. So it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. And I think Beakley was ready all to defend Scrooge, but then when he basically threw that like you're not family at Webby, that basically like she basically lost all respect for Scrooge at that point.
Yeah, precisely. Like I mean, I'd say Webby's in the Webby has a in perspective like how like Scrooge and Della are both at fault for it.
What about now, guys?
I can hear you.
Like for real, or just faintly?
There you are. There you are.
Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea what happened. I was just sitting there, and then my microphone was just like, oh, you think you're gonna have a good podcast, Tiki? Guess what? No, you're not. Anyways, sorry about that.
That's fine.
Okay. Anyways, guys, back on track. Kind of
the
get
thing
me up
is,
to speed on what you've been talking about.
We just basically chewed the fat with each other, essentially.
Yeah, I mentioned the slow chase and Beakley's
I was talking about how they let Scrooge a chance to explain himself.
Like how Beakley was like ready to, but then doesn't.
Because of the whole "we're not family" thing. Yeah, I heard some of that, and you're absolutely right. That was like the most, to me, that was the most devastating thing of the whole episode.
And then, of course, what is it in that same scene when like Scrooge. There's a callback to the pilot with Scrooge saying that they're nothing but trouble. Like, after all I've done for you, you're nothing but trouble.
Although back then he's like saying it's a good thing. Now he's like saying it's a bad thing.
Wait, he said it twice in the first one, I remember. Like, the first one is like, he was like, you haven't spoken to them in 10 years because family is nothing but trouble. And then, yeah, later, like, you kids are nothing but trouble. Curse me, kills, I've missed trouble. So,
although the weird thing, the strange part is though that like they're not putting the blame at their mom who pretty much abandoned her children to go into space.
yeah, the Webby does acknowledge that.
Yeah, it's like she knew she had children on the way and went into space knowing the dangers.
Yeah. Yeah, when Dewey says, like, so it's your fault, like, when he first says that, I wasn't expecting that.
It's like it's as much Della's fault as it is Scrooge.
Yeah.
Yes, me. It's like in Scrooge, like, and then that's the sad part.
I mean, of course, Scrooge does have a part in it. Like, he built the thing anyway.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, that part probably wasn't the best idea on his part, but you could tell he's like doing it just like to make her happy. Like he said, it was in celebration of.
Yeah, and
it was in like in celebration of the triplets being born. So that's clearly he's clearly had the best. It's like the road to hell is paved with good intentions after all.
Yeah, and we don't know what exactly was being said when he was in contact with her, so like maybe some of it was trying to get her back. But we don't know that.
So you guys are talking about that montage at the end with the money pit, I'm assuming?
The first montage.
Yeah.
When Scrooge is telling the story of what happened to Della.
Oh, okay. And then we have to talk about that second montage with the money pit too, because goddamn, that's some effective stuff.
Yeah. It's like, especially, it's just like I bet you stopped like once and put a dent into the money bin, and it's like he probably lost billions of dollars looking for her.
Yeah, like he was.
You know what that reminds me of? That's like, this is high praise here. That's some Jurassic Bark style irony right there.
Oh yeah.
Rob, you might not get that reference, but Jacob,
I
think does.
Futurama, one of the saddest episodes of all time.
Wait, I think I know what you're talking. I think I know of that episode. Yeah,
one of the saddest episodes of all time.
Yeah, and then the buzzards
dragging Scrooge away.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Come to think of it, it adds a new layer to that first time we see them in Scrooge.
The buzzards? Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
It's like they care more about Scrooge's money than Scrooge does.
So basically, let's recap. The episode pretty much puts into focus like everything that we've known so far about Scrooge and his legacy, and leaves it where the characters think less of Scrooge than they ever have, and we arguably might think more of Scrooge than we ever have.
Mm-hmm.
That's some damn good writing, man.
It's a shame, really. I mean, it's a classic kind of trope, but damn, it fits it well here. If it doesn't work towards an effective ending, there's definitely enough. I mean, you can't deny it's an effective ending, regardless.
No, again, kind of take a shot for every time I compare this to Gravity Falls, but I can't help it. That's kind of the level of like, I can't wait for, and unlike Gravity Falls, I know we're getting the finale next week and not like 3 months from now.
Yeah, for once, this show isn't on hiatus.
I know, right? Well, this show has actually done a damn good job of like, it's run all through the summer, and I don't think it's taken a week off.
Yeah, maybe
there was that brief like couple month hiatus between like episode 8 and 9.
Yeah,
sure.
Or like back at the beginning of the summer.
Like before everything switched over to Disney Channel, basically.
Yeah, I got to admit, I was sad when Disney XD kind of died, because I was a big fan of
I was a big fan of Disney XD for just like the fact that they were able to kind of push the boundaries on the content they were doing. But I gotta say, like, just in terms of like the production side of things have been running so much more smoothly with everything just under the Disney Channel banner. Like, to me, the fact that both Big Hero 6 and DuckTales have been able to consistently come out with new episodes through most of the weeks of the summer, that's nothing short of a small miracle.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Also, can we talk about the fact that the episode is a literal cliffhanger?
Ah!
Like
wow,
in every sense of the word.
Oh my god, that was probably... What are the odds that was intended?
Oh, I'm sure it was intended.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
Wow. This episode has the biggest cliffhanger going into the finale. It's definitely the biggest episode where you're like, oh my god, I need to know what happens next. And the whole episode is literally a cliff. All right. Let's see. Garrett doesn't get to see a celebrity crush at Carousel.
But it sounds like he should still be seeing... Nor the guy from Sweeney Todd, huh? But he does get to see Joshua Henry.
Nice.
Yeah, the guy we saw as Aaron Burr.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Our friend's on a Broadway trip right now, folks, so we're kind of like vicariously living through him. Anyways,
Yeah.
all right, let's see. Anything else to say about Beakley? I know we touched on the big thing with her with the whole, you're not family thing.
Yeah, this episode does like go a bit further, develop the relationship between Scrooge and Beakley.
Mm-hmm.
Like even before that moment, just the whole interactions between them throughout the episode.
It was strained at best before. And now it's pretty much like non-existent, it seems.
Yeah, Scrooge and Dewey get a bit reckless in this one.
Yeah, it's like they wanted to know the truth. They got the truth. And a harsh truth.
I guess it's true. You can't handle the truth. A few good ducks.
God.
Jack Nicholson's still around. Let's get him on the show.
Yeah.
No, I can picture the I want the truth that can't handle the truth. Like, I can picture that with Dewey and Scrooge, like a shot-by-shot recreation of it.
Right. Yes.
Did you order the code red? I goddamn did!
Can you guys hear me?
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking because I heard like a little like USB came unconnected sound, and I was like, oh god, not again. All right.
So.
Let's see. I guess anything else to say about the episode? Anything we're missing in any like big launchpad comedy or anything like that?
We got Darkwing Duck back.
Yes.
Including a jam session. Refresh my memory. Was that the actual credits music?
Yes.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
I had a feeling. It was kind of funny when there was a point like in the middle of it when they're in the plane and heading for the Jeep, but they'll be like, I never crashed a Jeep in a plane before. Jeep in a plane before. Yeah, was it when they were heading to the Jeep? I was wondering if they were gonna, drive it through the savannah like in the opening sequence.
Oh boy.
How long until we get that plot?
And not to mention like the end, like where they fall down with like, we realized that the cliff wasn't even that high to begin with.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Also, speaking of the Jeep, that's another reason why I was just a tiny bit bitter that Donald wasn't in much of the episode. Because one of the big promotions for the show was that image. I think maybe the first image we ever saw was of, I believe it was like Scrooge, Webby, the nephews, and Donald in that Jeep. Like in the middle of a jungle or something.
Right. Yeah, how long until we get the Jungle movie?
DuckTales, the Jungle movie. I mean, if anything, this pretty much is the Jungle movie for DuckTales with all the revelations. Dewey, you don't understand. It's all about the green-eyed people.
So do the green-eyed people like Louis because of his hoodie?
Yes. Yes, and Louis totally finds a way to capitalize on that. Like Louis brands.
Yes, he would.
That's probably something Louis would do.
That is so Louis. God. That was my bad Louis impression.
All right. So I believe we now arrive at the point where Monkey is decided like this is
the reason I'm on this episode to begin with is I have a prediction for how the next episode is going to go.
Monkey, I'm kind of terrified of this. I gotta say, I kind of went out on a limb for you on this one. So
thank you so much, bud.
Yeah.
So yeah, like
10 people watching us live, so no pressure or anything.
Okay. Let's see. So yeah, I'm just gonna go through it. So maybe certainly, react or comment, whatever, just maybe not a full-on interruption, if that's okay. Okay, so here we go. Here's what's gonna happen in the next episode. This season, in the season finale of season 1 of DuckTales. Okay. So Launchpad has followed Beakley and Webby. They're at a cafe or something. And then Launchpad recognizes somebody in the crowd. It's Jim Starling, the actor who played Darkwing Duck. He's with his daughter, Gosalyn. Gosalyn, quickly befriends Webby. Launchpad asks Jim if there'll ever be a Darkwing Duck reboot, but Jim says those days are behind him, that he can't handle the hero stuff anymore. Meanwhile, McDuck Industries is starting to go under as a result of Scrooge's depression, from this episode. And Gyro and Fenton realize what's happening, and they offer to try and find Della. Scrooge is reluctant, but Manny talks him into it with an inspirational speech. The Buzzard executive guys try to talk Scrooge out of it, but he walks out on them. Now, meanwhile, Magica is struggling to keep hold of Lena. Lena's putting up a good fight. And then one major moment, Lena has enough control to leave a voicemail for Webby about Magica and the dime. And Magica then whisks Lena away. And Webby hears this. She runs off to find Lena. Gosalyn goes with her. Beakley calls Scrooge to tell him about the danger the dime is in. Launchpad and Jim go to help Scrooge while Beakley goes after Webby. Scrooge contacts Donald and the boys. Obviously, the boys aren't keen on speaking to him. Emotional, dramatic scene here. And Scrooge mentions the trying to find Della thing, how he's been trying. And he also says that if Magica gets the dime, there will be absolutely zero chance of saving anyone. And the boys relent. While this is happening, Magica realizes that if her plan is to advance any further, she needs to release Lena. They learn that there is a real Sapphire of Souls that has the power to finally separate the two. And its location is the City of the Golden Suns.
Oh, nice pull.
So when they get there, they encounter a strange figure who claims to know about the Sapphire. And who's this? El Capitan!
Sarkis, Jacob.
Yeah, more like Suckus.
All right, sorry, Monkey. Go ahead.
Is that Gravity Falls?
No. It's original DuckTales.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so El Capitan takes them to the Sapphire, but he reveals that for it to work, one of them needs to truly separate herself by killing the other. Magica kills Lena.
Damn.
So meanwhile, at the manor, everyone is wondering what to do about the dime. Well, everyone except Jim. He decides to stay out of it. Huey sees something in the Junior Woodchuck guidebook about how an item like the dime can have such value that it gains magical properties. And if someone were to remove those properties from the dime, it would be of no value to Magica. Gyro asks, where the hell they're going to find someone who can do that magical shit? And Scrooge responds, I know a guy. They go to Gummy Glen.
Oh, God.
So, and Zummy Gummy has a spell in the Great Book that can remove the magical properties from the dime, but removing it all is a lengthy process. Anyway, while Magica is conjuring an army of demons to do her bidding, Beakley and Goslin have followed Webby into the subway tracks, like from the Terraformians episode. And Webby went there because she thought it might be a place Lena would possibly hide in. And while they're down there, they encounter the Terraformians, who offer to join them in the search. They've heard legends about Magica and her type, and they know ways to subdue evil magical beings. And then later on, they also find Pete down there. He's trying to find valuable subway tunnel diamonds or something. Yeah. Well, yeah, so meanwhile, Jim is sitting around the manor, and Magica's demons show up to try and find Scrooge and the dime. Obviously, neither of them's there, so they head off to find him at Gummy Glen. And as they depart, after they depart, Jim... Sorry, I'm typing a message to Garrett at the moment. And so anyway, they've departed, and Jim pulls a mask out of his pocket. He looks at it and says, "It's time for a Darkwing Duck reboot." So the demons get to Gummy Glen, and the Duckburg characters and most of the Gummy Bears fight them in an epic battle. And eventually Scrooge joins the battle as well, despite not being finished with the removal spell yet, and he promptly kicks ass. And at some point, Darkwing Duck shows up as well. Meanwhile, Magica uses Lena's phone to travel between it and Webby's phone, so she can see if Webby has the dime or something. This big fight occurs, and the Terraformians and Beakley and Goslin manage to subdue Magica. Webby then demands to know where Lena is, and Magica says something like, "I'll never see her again." Pete points out the implications of this, and Webby completely loses it. She starts viciously beating Magica and angrily shouting through her tears, "You didn't have to do it!" And this throws off the Terraformians. It allows Magica to regain her power. She leaves them behind, goes to find Scrooge. The Battle of Gummy Glen has been going on. It's actually been getting good for the heroes. Gizmo Duck's had some awesome moments. And then Magica shows up. She tries to get the dime from Scrooge, and Scrooge realizes that the only way he can prevent Magica from obtaining the dime and its power is by destroying it. And although it breaks his heart, he does. He smashes it to pieces with his cane. There's a moment as he mourns the loss of his #1 dime. But then Magica uses her powers to put the dime back together, takes it, and then disappears. And Scrooge tries to figure out where she went, and then suddenly Gizmo Duck disintegrates.
Oh no. Oh no.
And then Darkwing Duck disintegrates.
Oh god.
Then Dewey.
Not Dewey.
Then Zummy. And then Scrooge. And then back in the subway tunnels, the Terraformians disintegrate one by one. And then Goslin disintegrates.
Oh god.
And then, in what's going to be one of the most remembered moments in television history, Webby pipes up, "Granny, I don't feel so good."
Oh no. Oh no.
She embraces her grandmother, tearfully saying, "I don't want to go. I don't want to go."
Oh, God.
And then she disintegrates. Beakley's left alone with Pete down in the deepest, darkest recesses of the subway. Half the universe has been erased. And then, back in the Glen, Gruffy Gummy comments in disbelief. "She did it," Donald says. "Oh no." Elsewhere, Magica sits at the edge of a mountain whose peak resembles her head. We see her looking out at the sunrise.
Why did we...
And then it goes to credits. But then, in an unusual move for a show of this kind, there's a post-credit scene.
Oh,
we see Von Drake in a car, and he's trying and failing to get in contact with Scrooge or Beakley or any other nest agents. Then suddenly, cars and helicopters start crashing all around him. Citizens are disintegrating left and right. Von Drake realizes just how big of an emergency this is, and he pulls out a pager to try and contact someone. And then he disintegrates. The camera pans back down to the pager. It's still trying to connect to Von Drake's contact. and then it connects. And then an insignia appears on it. Not everyone will recognize it, but hardcore Disney Channel animation fans will know who it means right off. Pepper Ann.
Oh God.
So then later in the fall, we're going to see a Timon and Pumbaa reboot as a bit of a palate cleanser. See what those guys are up to. Then in the spring, we're getting the Pepper Ann reboot so we can be introduced to this version of the character. And then next summer, we'll be seeing DuckTales Season 2. That's it.
Okay, then.
Thank you.
Wow, how long did that take you to come up with?
At least a few weeks.
Oh my God, dude. You know what's funny is I didn't even catch on to the joke until like over halfway through.
Fair enough.
Like,
I tried to ease
when you did the Lena being killed off thing, only retrospect do I realize that was a Gamora.
Yeah, I tried to ease into it.
Right.
Honestly, I even like get in on it like as early as Scrooge walking out on the buzzards.
All right.
I just love that Wakanda is Gummy Glen.
Oh my God, yes. But you know what the funny thing is, though, is that literally everything that you kind of laid out, like, for the most part, I could see it all happening to one extent.
Yeah, I mean, I had to adjust it a little, like, after seeing today's episode, like, more so the beginning.
Sure. God. All right.
That's why I'm here.
That's actually serious, or...
What do you think?
Honestly, Monkey, like, I know it's a joke, but some of your stuff sounded pretty legit.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind that Darkwing stuff.
The Darkwing stuff, yes. The whole thing about, like, Scrooge, like, yes, I was trying. I tried so hard, and I spent billions. That whole thing sounds like it'll probably very much happen.
That would be fun if Peach shows up.
I mean, I do love the Avengers quality of it all. I really do hope that we get kind of like a team up between Gizmo Duck and, and Darkwing Duck. That would be a fan wet
and the
dream
gummy
right
bears.
There. Yes. Well, I'm not holding my breath on the gummy bears, all right?
Okay.
Like, I'm not even holding my breath for Darkwing Duck making an appearance, but if he did, oh mama, if he did. We had an interesting comment about the finale, which was placeholder says, not sure how I like the next episode preview.
I've avoided the preview, so
yeah. Rob, I'll kind of avoid this for your benefit.
Like when I rewatched this on demand, it fucking opened with the preview for the season finale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I will say, placeholder, without getting into what you're talking about with the episode preview. It is a valid concern that he brings up, but of course, Monkey is very spoiler sensitive, so I don't want to talk about it like directly.
Daddy.
Anyways, I think that's about it, guys. Jacob, do you have any speculation?
Nope.
Okay. So obviously, next episode is Shadow War, the season finale, which is going to be a two-parter.
Okay, it'll be about shadows and war.
Mind blown, Jacob.
I mean, it was so fitting when I saw that the episode was called Shadow War. Like when, I'd already been thinking of this prediction, and
right.
Mind blowing.
And then today's episode was a cliffhanger. So like, oh god, I hope no one brings up an Infinity War comparison.
All right. Well, you lucked out, Monkey.
Yay.
Yay.
All right. So thanks so much for watching this live, everybody. I think we got more live viewers than we've had in a while for DuckTales. So that's been fun. I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties there in the middle. But in the meantime, stay tuned. We'll be back next week. Of course, Monday we'll be back with our Tuesday. Tuesday we're going to do Big Hero 6 this week. And then we'll be back next Saturday to cover the season finale. It's going to be big. And until next time,
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Gummy bears!